For today's card, I'm using the Spellbinders 2011 Heirloom Ornament dies, and I'm using the second largest die, and I just die cut some CC Designs Copic quality 110 pound cardstock, and then I'm inking up the Warm Winter Wishes stamp from my Snowflake sentiment set with Brilliance Graphite Black Ink. Stamp that onto the ornament, and then I've decided I want to stamp a bunch of the snowflakes from the set with different colors of ink, and I'm getting everything to match my basic gray, the Jovial paper collection. I think that was last year's Christmas collection. It's still available on the basic gray site. It's one of my favorites, and I've been hoarding it forever, so I thought I might as well start using it. So anyway, I'm inking up the stamps with different inks. I used the Memento Cantaloupe first, that was the yellow shade. Then I'm using the Phubarb stock ink, and I have scratch paper underneath my die cut ornament so that I can stamp the ink off and get different shades using just one color of ink for each thing. So you can see I'm kind of stamping the green off before stamping it onto the ornament, so I'm getting different shades of green. And then for the aqua color, I had to go through my inks, and I found my VersaMagic. This is a Sea Breeze chalk ink to match the kind of aqua color in the pattern paper. So I stamped that, and then I decided to ink the edges of the ornament. This is again another VersaMagic ink. This is Wheat, and again it's a chalk ink, so just direct to the cardstock. It gives just a really soft look. And then I wanted to add a little bit more black to the image because of the blackness of the pattern paper I chose. So I just inked up the teeniest little snowflakes from the set, stamped them off once, and I'm just using the Memento Tuxedo black ink. And you can see it just gives it a lot more depth. Like, this is kind of a way you can kind of create your own patterns and designs. So then I've got my layout somewhat figured out, and then I'm using one of my favorite things dies to edge some. This is Pool Party cardstock from Stampin' Up. I had it in my stash, and it just kind of went really well with the little bit of aqua in the pattern papers. So I die cut that in my Cuttlebug, and then edge the pattern paper with the die cut pieces. And then for the ornament itself, I was going to try and have it look like it was hanging from the ribbon, but then changed my mind and wanted to wrap the ribbon around the top, and the ornament is too narrow for that to work. So then I just grabbed one of my Fiskars handheld circle punches, punched 2 holes at the top of the ornament there. And then this is just AmyR's Wrinkle ribbon. It's very similar to seam binding ribbon, which a lot of places are carrying now. It's just a really thin, lightweight ribbon. This is half an inch. Yeah. So really thin and pliable, so it's easy to thread through holes like that and tie. I love this kind of ribbon. I'm going to have to get more like it. And then as an afterthought, I wanted to edge the ornament with black, so I just sponged it really, really lightly just around the edges. And then I pulled a Prima flower from my stash, and then to embellish the Prima flower, I used another My Favorite Things die. This time I used the Snowflakes die, and I die cut some vellum with it. And again, the vellum was just from my stash. There was no brand or anything. It was just a lighter weight vellum. And then to attach it to the card, I'm going to use one of the Jovial glazed brads. But then before I got to that, I realized the ornament just wasn't standing out very well. It was kind of getting lost with all the patterns I had going. So I took one of the more solid patterns from the basic gray pack, this red one, just to kind of frame the ornament a little bit and just to help it stand out a bit more so it wasn't lost among all the patterns I had going on there. So I love that. So once I've got the ornament adhered down, it's a matter of attaching the little flower and snowflake embellishment, and I just pressed it right through the pattern paper because it's just thin, so you didn't need to pierce it or do anything. It just went right through. And then for the card base itself, I did the same thing I did to the ornament. I edged it with the Wheat VersaMagic ink and then sponged the black ink along it as well, just to make everything kind of match. And then adhered that down. And then of course I had to add some stickles, so I'm using, again, just diamond stickles really, really lightly. Especially when you're putting it on vellum like this, you have to use a really light touch because no matter what, the vellum basically absorbs the moisture from the stickles and it will curl, and you'll see that in the picture at the end. but I kind of like that effect, and I knew it was going to happen, so it just works for me. So then for the inside of the card, I'm just using the leftover pieces of the pattern paper I used on the outside. I die cut another ornament, and then this time I'm stamping the snowflakes again just to kind of tie it into the front, but I'm stamping everything off at least once beforehand so that it's very, very light, so that the giver of the card can write the message right over top of the snowflakes on the ornament. So really just quick and simple, not worrying too much like about placement or anything. I just wanted to be really light and subtle. And then again, edging the snowflake and sponging it, or ornament I mean, sorry. It's been a long day. Oy. So yeah, then it's just a matter of adhering everything together and adhering that to the inside of the card, and that's all there was to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!